In January 2018, MiFID II comes into force and is presented trading firms and their counterparties with quite a technical challenge. Today we're going to look specifically at order record keeping and transaction reporting. So essentially every transaction needs to be reported, but with a differing level of granularity depending on what it is. So for instance, for over-the-counter trading via phone, then every transaction needs to be recorded down to 1 second. But at the other extreme, via electronic access, and those orders that are deemed high frequency, so we're talking multiple messages per second here, under the MiFID terms, then they need to be recorded down to a granularity of 1 microsecond. But one thing that's more challenging is you also have to prove traceability to the universal time constant, UTC, within 100 microseconds. It typically requires more than one clock source and various clock modeling technologies to detect clock drift and to alert you when things go wrong. So trading firms are generally looking at two approaches. The first is to retrofit the trading systems with the necessary hardware and software to provide that timestamping capability. But that in itself presents the business with a risk because after all you're now modifying, you're changing those systems that the business is actually running on top of. So if there's any impairment, it's going to have a significant impact. And secondly, the development cycles are generally unpredictable and unknown, as will be the costs. So the second approach is to implement something alongside the trading systems that can gather the data, provide the timestamping and the reporting capability independently, and that's where Corvil comes in. Corvil works by analysing the packets flying through your network, and that has a couple of benefits. Firstly, it means that there's no changes required to those trading systems, meaning they can just carry on working as they were before. But secondly, you're also guaranteed to see every transaction. If you're plugged into the network and you onboard a new client, you're going to see it. Or if you provision a new exchange session, again, you're going to pick that up. So the orange icons on the screen represent where Corvil is gathering those packets for analysis. So firstly, on the client side, where orders are coming in either directly or via the OTC desk. On the right-hand side, where those orders are being sent out to the venues. But then we're also monitoring at a couple of different points as well, between the gateways and the SOR, and that actually allows us to break down the latency across those components. But we're also monitoring the market data that's coming into the SOR and recording that along with the order flow. And that's also really important for best execution because you can see the price of every instrument along with the orders that are being sent out, so you can then validate the decisions that that SOR is making. So the data is gathered from those monitoring points, sent up to the top to the Corvil appliances where the timestamping occurs. The packet payloads are then fully decoded to reveal the trading messages, the execution messages inside. And that data is then made available. Now, for order record keeping, it's necessary to store that data for a minimum of 5 years. So Corvil allows you to stream that data out to an external repository where you have that long-term storage. But in streaming the data out, we also include the UTC traceability statistics. So if you find yourself responding to a regulatory investigation, not only do you have all of the transactional messages stored with timestamps, you also have the traceability proof that you need as well. Or alternatively, you can stream the data directly into an ARM service who have rules engines and who can perform data consolidation and a full reporting solution for you. By using Corvil for trade reporting, you also get the benefit of Corvil's trade analytics in real time as well, which allows you to understand the performance of your individual trading infrastructure components, but also how your individual clients are experiencing the trading service. Many thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos that go into some of the Corvil technologies in more detail.